Larry, we have been friends. And you respect my dad and I respect you, but I will put fucking bullets right through your heart. You put that fucking gun down. Now.
God damn you, Joe. Don't make me do this.
Larry, stop pointing that fucking gun at my dad!
Hey, yo, family. What's going on? Welcome back to a brand new episode 124 of In Madness Pod. I'm Shawn the Butcher here with Vertebrae33. What's up?
Are you going to bark all day, little doggy? Or are you going to bite?
It was such a good line. He got it out of the first episode and the second episode. Make sure you follow the premiere podcast on the socials at In Madness Pod. Hit us in the mail sack. We might even dip in there in our next episode, even if we have a guest. Maybe we'll do mail sack with a guest, which we haven't done in a while. At In Madness Pod, inmadnesspod@gmail.com to send us emails or voice notes. Check us out on YouTube. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment, give us the 5-star reviews. Check out the In Madness Spotify playlist, which we are 100% adding at least 2 songs to by the end of this here episode, probably even more. It is the most important playlist possibly in the history of mankind. Happy In Madness Monday. If that's when you're listening, spread the madness, wrap the tentacles around your best friend and even your worst enemy. Tell them about In Madness Pod, and you can even get a shirt or a mug at inmadness.com. What mug do you have for episode 124?
124. Shawn, it was a struggle. I don't know. I didn't know what to do. So I have this like blue and brown mug.
Okay.
And I was like, that's like Mr. Brown and Mr. Blue. They weren't in the movie very long. So
first 2 taken out.
Shout out to Bunker and then Tarantino. But Shawn, you mentioned the Spotify playlist. I'll tell you, I'm going to go out on a limb. And I got to say this to you. This is controversial. But if Jesus had a playlist, it would be the In Madness.
I would like to think so.
Absolutely.
This is some Beatles shit right here.
Yes, we are. We're locking them down. But
it is the best playlist ever. We just added a bunch of amazing songs. I added the cover of me and Johnny Booth. Mm-hmm. And we have Vicki Lawrence, The Night the Lights Went Out in Georgia. Mm-hmm. As well as Madonna, Like a Virgin.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. I was saying I appreciate you. This is 100% Shawn, this playlist. What I do is the easy part. I get to spit out songs I like and make dumb jokes about songs that fit into the movies. And Shawn's got to be the one to remember said songs and add them to the playlist. And I'll tell you, that's not as easy as you think, because I can't tell you 124 episodes in. If you went back in time and listened, you will notice times where I'm like, yep, well, we'll get to that in part 2. And guess what? We don't get to it in part 2. And you probably forgot it yourself because you listened a while before. But so the fact that he remembers, he gets back to that playlist, I think is great.
The second we mention it, I immediately add it. This way, there's no ifs, ands, or buts. Like we bring it up, I throw it on, and I don't even have to worry about it. It kind of happens gradually with the show. But speaking of remembering, because I know I'm going to forget, at the end of this episode, Vertebrae is going to tease what the punishment for me, for the In Madness family voting for Mortal Kombat as the most voted for movie, making Vertebrae go through that. He will be teasing his movie at the end of this episode, so stick around because we are getting into part 2 of finally dipping into the Tarantino territory of Reservoir Dogs.
Yeah, and sitting in this movie for these episodes again, because it's not something I've seen in a few years. It's just like the Wayback Machine for me. Like I can remember when I first saw it. I remember distinctly that period of time. I said before an episode, first part of this, that I remember people emulating the way they talk at the diner and discussions like that. And now we're going to get to. So I think there's like multiple tiers of Reservoir Dogs where there's like iconic scenes And then there's like these incredibly iconic scenes. So if you watch it enough times, you're like, the opening with the diner is very iconic, right? The deal in the car, like right after the diner, like we're just hitting these scenes heavy, and we're on the cusp of the most talked about scene in films for a long time after that.
Parodied throughout history, especially on The Simpsons.
Yeah, I would say that it's probably one of the, I would say this is probably one of the scenes that Tarantino gets asked about the most. And there was controversy over this scene as well, and people's memories of it and what actually happened. And we'll get into all that. But I need you to give us the whole rundown so I can get
Just
caught
to
back
recap
up.
what the hell happened in our last kind of brief, quick episode of part 1 of Reservoir Dogs. We got our group of villains, gangsters, all brought together by Big Joe and his son, Nice Guy Eddie, to pull off this jewel heist. Also, this jewel heist has gone completely off the friggin' rails. One of our gangster villains, Mr. Orange, gets shot in the stomach. Mr. White tries to assure him he will be okay. We got Mr. Pink, scrawny little dude, meets up with White and Orange at the rendezvous. They're positive they were set up. There's a rat somewhere in the group. Turns out one of our other thugs, Mr. Blonde, is a homicidal maniac, just started shooting people during the heist. With all of this horror going on, we discover that Mr. Pink does indeed have the diamonds that they went there for. So there's a bit of good news. But in more bad news, Mr. Pink discovers Mr. White told Mr. Orange his real name and where he's from, and now Pink is afraid if they take Orange to the hospital, he's going to rat everybody out. Pink wants to let Orange die, which pisses off Mr. White, who starts beating up Mr. Pink until in strolls Mr. Blonde, who is so cool and calm and even stopped to get himself fries and a drink after the botched heist before he went to the rendezvous. White is pissed at Blonde, calling him a psychopath, but Blonde could not care less. White tells him they're taking Orange to the hospital. Blonde tells them they're not going anywhere. He's got a surprise for them in his trunk. It's a cop from the heist. They're going to interrogate him and find out more about this rat business. And we learn more about Mr. Blonde. He's an old friend of Big Joe's and Nice Guy Eddie's. Blonde was in prison. Big Joe sent them some packages. Now that Blonde is free, he wants to get back into doing some real dirty work for Big Joe and Eddie. They tell him about this jewel heist they're planning, and Blonde is all in. And that's where we left you last week on In Madness Pod.
So 2 things. One, incredible when you do those recaps. I was in my mind, I'm just cracking up because it's like Mr. Pink said to Mr. Orange, and if you take out all the violence, it's like a kid's story or a board game or something. And then the second thing was we get to this police officer in the trunk of the car. So this was on like the commentary of the DVD. So apparently the actor who plays the police officer asked Madsen, because it was Madsen's car. That's his actual car. We talked about this $1.6 million movie or something. So they're wearing some of their own clothes. They're, in this case, bringing their own car. If he could get in the trunk and ride for a little bit in the car, so he could kind of like method act what it was like to be in the trunk. So Madsen obliges. He drives the car for a while. About time for him to turn back. He decides, we'll keep going. Goes, finds some really bumpy road with a lot of potholes. There's banging from the trunk because this actor now needs to get out. He decides, there's a Taco Bell. He goes, gets Taco Bell or tacos, gets back into the car, drives back to the set, and then opens the trunk. There's some debate on what state he was in when it opened, but that is Madsen almost in like his full character from the movie. Yeah. So I thought that was hilarious. I love the idea that he just pulled into a Taco Bell. Like amazing. This dude in the truck. Like if somebody heard him banging, like how do you explain that? I'm filming this movie, but the guy wanted to ride in the truck. Yeah. Amazing. A fun little story that both of them tell. So we assume it's true.
We cut to K Billy Super Sounds of the 70s countdown. 12th caller wins 2 tickets to Monster Truck Extravaganza. We cut to nice guy Eddie. He's driving his car. Quickly, there's a shot of an orange balloon floating behind the car. I never really noticed it until reviewing it for this podcast.
Yeah.
He's on the phone freaking out about the situation, trying to find out what dad wants done about it.
Yeah, it's weird. He calls him daddy when he's on the call. Yep. And I can't help but think he's got to be talking to a relative, right? A brother, a cousin, an uncle. I
feel like it's daddy's secretary. Like she's
but
like,
he would say daddy to the secretary.
Yeah, I feel like he calls feel like he calls his dad daddy. It's like
it's very off-putting for
it's very strange.
Very strange.
Then we got White, Pink, and Blonde beating the crap out of this cop in the warehouse. They got him taped to a chair. Pink punches the cop, but he hurts his little knuckles. Nice guy Eddie walks in and sees the boys beating up the cop. He sees Orange pretty much dead, laying in the corner. Pink's yelling at Eddie. They were set up. Eddie doesn't believe it. Eddie tells him, Daddy's coming, and he's pissed. Eddie wants to know who's got the stones. Please tell me somebody's got the stones. Pink says he's got them stashed. Eddie wants the cars moved outside. Tells Pink and White they're coming with him. Tells Blonde to watch Mr. Orange and the cop. Mr. White thinks this is a bad idea. Blonde is sitting there picking away at like this callus on his hand or something for like 5 minutes. He's just sitting there scratching and futzing around on his hand like he could care less about anything that is going on right now. White's telling Eddie that Blonde's a fucking psychopath. This is what he was doing. Bam, bam, bam. Blonde's like, yeah. Bam, bam, bam. I told them not to touch the alarm. If they didn't do what I told them not to do, they'd still be alive. And White says, that's why you went on a kill crazy rampage? I don't like alarms, Mr. White.
And then everybody in this movie is like that real quick speech, the Tarantino style, except for Madsen. His delivery is very deadpan. Is very, very smooth. And Shawn, you'll notice in this scene at one point when they're all talking, Harvey Keitel, a door opens up and Harvey Keitel wanders over to the door and just closes it. Like they had apparently an issue with that door opening when they were filming the movie. So they just, they just kept rolling. And in character, Keitel wandered over and like closed the door, which is pretty awesome.
Eddie, Pink, and White go out to grab the cars. Blonde walks right up to the cop, alone at last. Cop says he doesn't know nothing about the setup. Torture me all you want. Blonde tells the cop he doesn't care what he knows or what he doesn't know. He's going to torture him anyway, just because it's amusing to him. He tells the cop, pray for a quick death, which you are not going to get. Points his gun right in the cop's face, and the cop's just like flinching everywhere. Mr. Blonde has himself a laugh. Instead, he pulls out a switchblade from his boot and asks the cop if he ever listened to K. Billy's Super Sounds of the 70s. It's Blonde's personal favorite.
Yeah, and this gets, like, the first time you're seeing this movie, you just have no idea what's about to happen. And dare I say, Madsen comes across engaging, like funny even. And then it takes an awful turn.
He doesn't look like the psycho that he is.
Yes. Yeah.
He puts on K. Billy talking into Steelers wheel stuck in the middle with you. Yes. Which I am adding right now to the In Madness Spotify playlist.
Yeah. And you know what's funny, Shawn, on that soundtrack, Tarantino said in an interview that he basically, the entire budget was hinged on, for the soundtrack was hinged on that song. Like he filled in the rest through producers making record deals with the soundtrack and everything, but the kind of the entire budget hinged on this. He knew that this would be the song that played in this scene, and then we get what we're about to get, and some of it's written and some of it's Madsen embellishing, and
Blonde is thrilled. He loves this song. The camera pans away as he's sitting on the cop's lap. And then you hear the cop screaming in agony.
Yeah, and before that, Shawn, he's dancing to the song, and he's got this dance around, right? And is that dances before the cutting?
Yeah, and he's singing
Yeah,
with Switchblade.
and he's singing and he's dancing around to it, and he's being very engaging. And then they do this genius thing where we don't know what's happening. We just know something bad is happening, and we're not really sure because they cut away and we're zoned in on like the ramp area.
Blonde walks into the shot holding a chunk of bloody flesh, a bloody ear.
Mm-hmm.
He walks up to the cop holding the ear and talks into the ear in his hand.
Oh.
And goes, "Hey, what's going on?" And looks at the cop and says, "Can you hear that?"
Yeah.
And laughs his ass off.
Oh, brutal.
Tells the cop he's going to be right back. He leaves the warehouse. It's broad daylight. Daytime horror. You even hear kids 20 feet away playing. There's this horrible torture happening 20 feet away from where these children are playing.
Right. And what's cool about that, Shawn, is the music is there in the scene where they call it diegetic music or whatever. So it's happening. And then we go out and you hear the music fade out naturally because the door is closing behind him. And they have all these outside things. And it just makes it even scarier to have this be happening, like you said, with normal people's lives going on right around this. Also, this scene famously, Shawn, this is Wes Craven walked out of Reservoir Dogs. And it was this scene that he walked out of. And I guess his thing was that, Tarantino said in an interview, "I can't believe the guy who directed Last House on the Left walked out of Reservoir Dogs." And Craven responded, "Last House was about the evils and horrors of violence. It did not mean to glorify it. The movie Reservoir Dogs glorifies it." Now I'll say I feel like that's Craven trying to take the high road on the films that he created, for this coming from the guy who made Nightmare on Elm Street. So I think one person's glorification, and this movie takes a hit for this, Shawn, this glorification of violence. He'll take an even bigger hit with Pulp Fiction because it's a much bigger movie. And it's just interesting because it's the same people who are going to talk about Michael Myers or Freddy or whoever who are upset by this. I think, if I had to guess, I think it's because we've made Madsen is so cool and so abusive and mean at the same time. Then again, a lot of people thought Hannibal Lecter was pretty cool, and everyone was cool with what he did to everybody in that movie. So, but this is the first of many hits Tarantino will take from this, from his peers too. And I wonder, you can't help but wonder, Wes Craven, this amazing career, but like you go see this film and you see this guy and what he's doing, and it's groundbreaking in some ways, and maybe you're annoyed by it because
like
you're
you
about
said, here comes this kid in the 90s. The 80s are over, Wes.
Yes. Yeah. So I
Hair
think there
metal's
could be
dead. It's all about Nirvana now.
I think there could be more to that than, meets the eye with that, because Tarantino takes a lot of directors buddy up together, and now he buddies up with people. But in the beginning, people seem to forget he took heat from everybody left or right. He was the outsider. He was the video store clerk that should have stayed in the video store. We're the directors. We're the ones who went to film school. I went to NYU. I went to Columbia. I went there, USC Film School. How dare you? And now look at the difference of it. So I think that some of that is kind of egged on.
The ear chopping wasn't enough. Blonde takes out a gas tank from his trunk. He goes back in the warehouse, and Stuck in the Middle with You is still playing. Blonde's dancing with the gas can. The cop is freaking out. Blonde starts covering the cop with gas. The cop is begging him to stop. Tells Blonde he's got a kid. Blonde could care less.
Yeah. We don't know what hit us first. And now we think we're going to get hit with something else even worse.
Blonde does not care. He lights up his lighter and says, "Have some fire, Scarecrow." Right before he drops the lighter, pop, 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 pop. Mr. Orange is alive and fucking blows him away.
Shocking. First time you see this movie, blows you away. You had no idea that was going to happen. We kind of almost forgot about him when all this other stuff is going on, or figured he was right near death. Earlier in the movie, when they first get into the warehouse, you can see him take his gun out from behind him, and he has it when he's getting laid down on the rampway there. But you kind of forget about that, or maybe don't notice when you see it. Were you surprised at this, Shawn? Because I was when this happened.
It was great. It was so justifying because as cool as Madsen is, like, you're kind of like, what is going to stop this psychopath? And you're so happy that, like, you know, justice prevails.
Yeah, and we're about to find out that this Marvin Nash cop is like a super cop.
The entire floor is covered in blood. Orange asks the cop his name, Marvin Nash. Orange goes, Marvin, I'm a cop. Marvin goes, I know. Your name's Freddie something. We met about 5 months ago. Whoa. Orange puts it all out there. We know we indeed have a rat in the house, and it is indeed Mr. Orange.
Right. And the first time you see that movie, that blows you away. And the next time you see that movie, you're like, wait, the guy who was getting tortured knew this all along and didn't say anything to try to get himself out of the torture? Wow.
Marvin asks Orange how he looks. Orange has a laugh. Marvin is pissed at Blonde for cutting his ear off. Orange tells Marvin, chill out. There's cops a block away. They're waiting. Marvin wants to know what the hell they're waiting for. He got his ear cut off. He's deformed. And Orange is like, fuck you. I'm dying.
What an argument between these two, one of them mortally wounded and one of them really badly wounded police officers. And also, Shawn, man, how hard is it that you just got to stay there? Like, they took this guy out of the trunk. They're in there. They got the other guy. They know he's undercover. Everybody knows.
Doesn't matter.
Nobody comes in. Wow. All for Joe?
They got one target. Orange tells Marvin, cops aren't making a move until Big Joe walks in. He's on his way. Don't pussy out on me now, Marvin. We're just going to sit here and bleed until Joe sticks his head through that door.
Awful.
Then we're introduced to Mr. Orange. He walks into a diner. He's talking to his cop buddy. Says he's got the in with Big Joe's crew. Says he's connected with nice guy Eddie, who's going to introduce him to Joe and to Mr. White. His buddy wants him to find Mr. White's file by looking at all the arrests and put a name to the face. His buddy asks Orange, did you use the commode story? We cut to Orange and his buddy outside on a roof, and Orange is like, what the hell's the commode story? It's a scene, an interesting anecdote about a drug deal, something funny that happened to you on a job. You memorize this. Undercover cops got to be Marlon Brando. To do this job, you got to be a good actor.
Yeah, and this is where we get Shawn Tarantino showing his, filmmaking chops here, because we're about to get a story inside another story and just going back and forth, and just an amazing job.
Orange is like, I got to memorize this. This is 4 pages. His buddy's like, think of it as a joke. You memorize the main parts. The rest is your own. Just remember the details. The story takes place in the men's bathroom. You got to know everything about this bathroom. What kind of paper towels they got, or the one that blow dries your hands. If the stalls had doors or not. You got to know if they got liquid soap or that pink granulated powder shit. You got to know if there's diarrhea in one of the bowls. You take all the details. You make them your own. The story's about you and how you perceive the events that went down. The only way to do that is go over it again and again and again.
Do you remember the pink granulated soap, Shawn?
Yeah, of course. This was this is like end of 80s, early 90s.
Yeah, so it's like pink granulated soap, and then like that sawdust that they would throw down on the floor when some kid threw up. Those things, right, stuck in your brain. I also remember some gas station bathrooms used to have the paper towel that, like, it was like a towel and you pulled it. Do you remember this?
I would see it in movies, but I would never seen one in real life.
and it was just a dirty towel that would be conceivably pulled through something inside that may clean it, but they were always all like stained and disgusting. I never used one. I was like, I don't really care. Like, I'm gonna now, whatever, you get out of the bathroom, you Purell your hands. Everybody's got Purell with them, you're good. But then it was like, okay, I'm gonna figure out how to. I remember trying to like open a door with like your knee or something and then grab it with your foot so you don't have to touch anything, because nobody washed their hands coming out of that bathroom. And if you're on a road trip or something, you're probably buying snacks at the gas station, and you got to figure out a way to eat them. There was no such thing as Purell, no good. No wipes. There weren't wipes around. Like, nobody had wipes in the cars. The best you could do would be like water. And if you had like a napkin or like a paper towel, you'd do that. And then if I was like on a trip where like you were going somewhere, maybe camping or something, and you happen to have soap, like you could use a little bit of soap. But generally, I don't know why I just went on a tangent about washing your hands from the pink granulated.
Granulated shit. But it really strikes a nerve, because
it does.
When he said it, I was like, oh yeah, I remember that shit.
And that instantly takes me to like what bathrooms looked like that had that soap, and the little push dispenser was like a little bubble up top, and you would kind of push in and that stuff would come out. Like, yeah.
We got Orange in his apartment, memorizing the script, telling the story about this large amount of weed. Orange is outside. He's auditioning the story for his cop buddy. Orange is in the club. Now he's with Nice Guy Eddie and Big Joe and Mr. White, telling this same story. He's got a ton of weed on him to sell to this guy. He's got to take a leak. He goes to the men's room, and who's in there? 4 sheriffs and a German shepherd. The dog's looking at Orange, barking. Nice Guy Eddie stops him. They're in there looking for you? No, just a bunch of cops hanging out, talking shit in the men's room. I walk in and they all stop talking and look at me. Mr. White's laughing. Orange tells him the dog is barking right at me. We get this cool shot. Orange is standing in front of the cops. The camera's panning around him. He's telling the story to the cops, but he's still telling the story to Nice Guy Eddie, Big Joe, and Mr. White. But that's how much he has this memorized. We see him inside of the story telling the story. It's sick.
Yeah, story inside a story. This is Tarantino is flexing in his first movie right here.
He tells the guys he's freaking out, every nerve telling him to leave. He's sure the cops can smell the weed. Sure as shit, the dog can smell it as well. But the cops tell the dog to shut up. So Orange struts over to the urinal and takes a leak.
The best part about this story, Shawn, is that you wouldn't get in trouble these days for.
No one would care.
No one would even care.
The cop's telling his own story about how he's got his gun pulled on some guy. The way the cop's telling his story is sort of the way Mr. Orange is telling his story. Kind of even sounds like he's making it up as he's going along.
Yeah, and they're eating it up. And what's crazy about that story is like, it kind of doesn't end. Like, it doesn't really matter. The guy everything just gets squared away. Like, usually when you tell a story,
there's a buildup, yeah,
that passionately, that it ends with, the guy getting out of the car and running into a field and falling off a cliff or something. Like, it just sort of ends if like, ooh, that was a close call,
But the story is not over yet, because Mr. Orange washes his hands and he's going to leave. He's leaving. He's in the clear. He's walking out. But just to be a dick, he stops and takes a quick look at the hand dryer and just smashes his finger on the button, creating all this loud noise, stopping the cops in the middle of their conversation. You see them staring at him, pissed off. The dog is barking and the dryer stops, and then Orange leaves. Big Joe has a laugh and says, "You handled it well. Shit your pants and dive in and swim."
And he pushes the dryer, Shawn, with like his hand, like a gun. Like, he does that, and he does that later on in this scene too. He does it with the door when he's thinking about whether he should go. It's not that scene. He does that with the hand.
Yeah. Orange's cop buddy wants to know more about Big Joe. Orange tells him Joe is cool. He's funny. The Fantastic Four? The Thing. Motherfucker looks like the Thing. And he does. Looks like him. Sounds like him. It's amazing.
He really does. And also he has like a Silver Surfer poster and stuff in his apartment. So obviously he's a big comic guy, we're supposed to believe.
Back in his apartment, Orange gets a call from nice guy Eddie. Him and Mr. White are waiting downstairs. Orange goes to meet him, but not before grabbing all of his guns. He goes to leave and stops and looks at himself in the mirror like De Niro in Taxi Driver. He gives himself a little pep talk. Don't pussy out on me now. They don't know. They don't know shit. You're not going to get hurt. They believe every word because you're super cool.
Yeah, and he digs into, he has a change and he gets some ring out of the change. He also, there's a room in his apartment that has like a ladder in it and some plastic, like they were like he was painting or somebody was painting that part of the apartment. It's just really interesting. It could just be that was the only place they could get and they just left it like that. But it's like all these little like story building nuggets that get thrown into these Tarantino stories. The best movies are the ones where you just don't have full explanations on everything and it doesn't matter.
And that does come up later. He goes down to meet Eddie and White. Behind their car is another car following them, talking about how crazy it is that Orange is working undercover. Mm-hmm. And the song Hooked on a Feeling kicks in from Blue Swede.
I think so.
I'm adding this to the In Madness Spotify playlist.
Love that song. Hooked on a Feeling.
In the car, we got Pink, White, Orange, and Eddie talking about their women problems. They're headed to meet Big Joe. They're telling stories about TV shows and strippers they knew who glued their boyfriends' dicks to their stomach.
And they also mentioned Pam Grier, who later goes on and appears in Jackie Brown.
Back at the warehouse, we got Big Joe addressing all the men. He's not about all the fun and games. He's talking shit to all of them. You like laughing and having fun and joking around, huh?
I love that he calls it a caper. It's so old school when he refers to it as a caper. And then there was two other things I want to bring up, but I want you to go through. This is one of my favorite scenes in the movie.
Well, Joe wants to tell one of his own jokes. There's men in prison wondering how they got there until they figure out, while we were planning this caper, all we were doing was screwing around.
And
terrible joke. Worst joke I've ever heard in my entire life, Big Joe. I'm sorry.
And also, so they had a lot of problems with Lawrence Tierney on the set. And, he had difficulty with Tarantino. They got into arguments. There was tension. He actually pushed Tarantino, and then they cut him from the set. The crew was so excited that people clapped, and then they obviously brought him back. The crew applauded, but they fired him and brought him back to complete his role. But he would forget lines like crazy, which explains why he once again says there's 5 guys sitting around a prison in San Quentin when there's 6 guys. Right? He doesn't know that one of them's a cop, but this was stuck on this 5 guys. And what's weird about that too, Shawn, is on the poster, the original poster, it says something about 5 guys, but I think that could be because one of them is a cop, right? So there's not the 6th guy's not a criminal, but it's just very interesting that he says it there. But yeah, he had a lot of issues on the set, and he was erratic and he would repeat things. So they struggled with his.
He sort of like flubs a line during this speech, but
yes,
he plays it up and he works it so it fits.
Right. And also this movie budget is not big, Shawn. So the idea of filming scenes over and over again to get them right. It's not.
Tarantino does this often because I feel like there was another scene earlier when it was just Mr. Pink and Mr. White when they were stressing when they just got back from the heist. And I feel like Pink like flubs a line, but Tarantino keeps it in to like, because it's a tense moment, and it's like they're thinking erratically, and he does the same thing with Travolta in Pulp Fiction. But Travolta like famously flubs a line, and Tarantino's like, I'm keeping it in. It's perfect. It works great for the stress of the situation.
Yeah, I think that's natural speech. I don't think people get it right. We don't edit a lot on this podcast. We flubbed lines on this podcast, and that adds to the reality of these guys in heated situations or this crew together. But yeah, I absolutely love this scene when they're all getting together.
So after Joe tells his horrible story, like angrily, he immediately kind of apologizes. Sorry, I didn't mean to holler. If this works out, I'll go down to Hawaii and laugh with y'all. You'll find me a different character down there. I do like that line.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, we're talking business, he tells the men. Everyone is using an alias. No one tell each other your name. No personal talk, where you've been, your wife, where you did time. Only talk about what you're going to do. And he gives all the men their names. I love that Tarantino highlighted this scene, like the origin of the names and the hilarity of the handing out of the names.
Absolutely. And he says, under no circumstances do I want any one of you to relate to each other under your Christian names. And that is actually like, that's on the soundtrack, but it's also on the, there was this band Brad that was like one of the guys from Pearl Jam had like a side project, and they have that sampled on that album. I got to see if I can find it. I have that on CD somewhere. I have it on CD. I also have the Reservoir Dogs soundtrack on CD as well. Not on vinyl, but I bought it back in the day on CD. Listened to it quite a lot.
Joe's handing out the names. Immediately, Buscemi's mad. Why am I Mr. Pink?
Mm-hmm.
Joe fires back with a hilarious response that I will not repeat. Everybody laughs. Pink asks, why can't we pick our own colors? Joe's like, I tried this already. 4 guys fighting over who's going to be Mr. Black. Nobody knows each other, so nobody wants to back down. I pick your Mr. Pink. Quentin immediately speaks up. Mr. Brown sounds like Mr. Shit. Yeah, Mr. Pink sounds like Mr. Pussy. Pink wants to be purple. You can't be purple. There's another purple on a different job. You're pink.
I just love that these are just children. We've seen it before with Keitel and Buscemi and their little fight, and Harvey Keitel starts kicking him like a kid. And now we see it in this. We're trying to have a meeting. These guys are supposed to be professionals. We're trying to have a meeting, and we're having this debate on it. And then he's telling me, well, you can't be that because I got a guy on another job that's that. And it's just like, yeah,
I love the madness of it. White ass Pink, who cares about the names? And Pink immediately is like, yeah, easy for you to say you're Mr. White. You sound cool. If you don't care, then let's trade names. Joe gets even more pissed off. Nobody's trading names. You're Mr. Pink or you can fuck off. Mr.
Yeah,
Pink
and Mr. Pink has a pink shirt on. In this scene, right? It's like pink with like kind of a Hawaiian shirt with yellow on it too. So I think that was funny. I wonder if he just like looked at people and named them. Mr. White, like, yeah, okay, you got a white shirt on, cool, you know.
We cut to White and Orange inside a car going over the plan. Who's doing what in the heist? There shouldn't be any alarms. In and out, 2 minutes. Orange asks White, what happens if the manager doesn't hand over the diamonds? White explains, these places are insured. If you get a customer who thinks he's Charles Bronson, smash their nose in with the butt of your gun. It drops him right to the floor. Everybody jumps. He's screaming, blood squirting everywhere. Everyone's going to freak out. No one says shit after that. Now, if the manager's giving you any crap, cut off one of his fingers, the little one. Tell him what thumb's next. After that, I'll tell you if he wears ladies' underwear. I want a taco. And they go get tacos. Then we cut to the crime in progress. Brown crashes the car. He's bloody. Orange and White are in the back. They get out of the car. Sirens are going off. Helicopters are overhead. Brown is real bloody. White pulls out the guns. This shit is tense as hell. Cops pull up. White pulls out. Blam, 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 blam. Lights him up. Orange is watching in total shock. He looks back at Brown, dead. He looks back at Mr. White in shock. White asks if Brown is dead, but Orange can't even answer. White pulls his arm and starts walking with him. While they're trying to escape, they hijack a car. The woman in the car pulls a gun out of the glove box, opens up the door, and shoots Mr. Orange in the stomach. He falls to the floor and shoots the woman. Now he is screwed.
Brutal. Absolutely brutal.
Now we're back where we started at the beginning of this goddamn movie with Mr. Orange shot in the stomach, dying in agony, bleeding all over the place. Apologizing to Mr. White, calling him Larry. Orange can't believe he's going to die. He's very scared. Cut back to Orange and the cop in the warehouse dying. Blood everywhere. White, Pink, and nice guy Eddie waltz back in. Carnage everywhere. Cop tortured. Blonde shot to death. What the hell happened here?
Yeah, this is crazy. Crazy.
Orange tells him everything about the ear, about the gas. Eddie is pissed. He walks right up to the cop. Blam, 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 blam. Shoots the cop. Orange tells Eddie Blonde was going to kill the cop and Orange, and then Pink and White and Eddie when they came back and leave with the diamonds. Mr. White believes the story. Nice guy Eddie does not.
Also, why would he think? I mean, I guess he has to say something. I just don't know why he would think that they would care that he was going to do anything to the cop. I mean, he's adding on the part where they're going to steal the diamonds and kill them and stuff to embellish it. And he's trying to embellish on the spot. But the beginning part, they're not going to care about. Okay, fine. He went off and killed the cop. No big deal. And they don't know his relationship. He doesn't know his relationship. He doesn't realize how close they actually are.
This is where Orange fucks up, because with blood all over his face, Eddie is dissecting what Orange just told him Blonde's plan was to kill Eddie. Blonde got busted working at one of Joe's warehouses, and instead of giving Joe up, Blonde kept his mouth shut and went to jail for 4 years. Eddie doesn't believe his good friend Blonde, who did 4 hard years, is just gonna decide out of the blue to rip us off.
Out of the fucking blue.
And in walks Big Joe, points right at Orange. This man set us up. Joe knows the score.
Yeah, but Joe's fault, though, right? Because he was the only guy he wasn't sold on.
White doesn't believe him. Orange plays along. I got no idea what you're talking about, Joe. White's arguing with Joe, saying there's no way Orange is a cop, but Joe knows the deal. He pulls out his gun and points it right at Orange. White pulls out and draws on Joe. Eddie pulls out and draws on White. Have you lost your fucking mind? Holy shit. This is tense. We got a Mexican standoff, baby. Pink is freaking out. Guys, nobody wants this. White will not back down. He doesn't believe Orange is a cop and won't let Joe kill him. Eddie is insisting White drop the gun. White tells Joe, you shoot that man, you die next. Do you hear me? Eddie is screaming at the White to stop pointing his gun at his dad. Then something happens, and I've watched this a million times, and I can't figure it out. Because Joe shoots Orange, and White shoots Joe, and Eddie shoots White. Nobody shoots Eddie, but Eddie drops to the floor shot.
Yeah, so his squibs went off early. So they just kind of went with it.
So Tarantino was like, fuck it, we'll leave it. And everyone's going to say, who shot nice guy Eddie? And here we are on the podcast, however many years later after this movie came out, saying, who the hell shot nice guy Eddie? It's like a who shot JR thing.
Yeah,
who
absolutely.
Shot Mr. Burns.
He just left it in. It led to people having some theories about an additional shooter somewhere else people have talked about online. And it's just basically his squibs went off early, so he didn't get shot.
So now Joe and Eddie are dead. Orange is like 98% dead. White is shot alive, crawling around, moaning in agony. And out crawls Mr. Pink. Untouched.
Under the ramp he goes.
Yeah, under the ramp. He sees all these dead bodies and is like, to hell with all this.
Yeah, I'm out of here. I know where the diamonds are, too.
Grabs the diamonds and walks right out the front door. White crawls over to Orange. Both men dying. They hug each other in bloody, dying agony. Here come the cops. The sirens are howling. The fun is over. It all ends now. They're done for. White's like, sorry, dude, we're going to do a little time. Orange is like, I'm a cop. I'm sorry. I'm a cop. Here come the screaming cops. White lets out this moan of agony like, how could I be so stupid? He just shot his buddy Joe and Eddie, presumably. Orange is apologizing. White jams his gun into Orange's face. The cops kick the door open. The camera zooms in on White's face. Drop the gun. Don't do it. The cops are screaming, if you do it, we're going to blow you away. And boom, we don't see it, but we hear a gunshot, presumably White blowing away Mr. Orange.
Yeah, and then him getting shot as well.
And then blam, blam, blam. The cops blow away Mr. White, who flies out of frame. Cut to black, written and directed by Tarantino. The end.
Crazy. And
That's
you know,
how you end the movie.
you hear in the background, Mr. Pink, you kind of hear him say something like
Oh,
earlier, right? That he was shot or something like that. So I think he doesn't make it either, Mr. Pink.
I
Yeah,
would
because
like to
there's some
think years down
shooting
the
and
line,
stuff
Mr. Pink.
outside. Yeah,
Oh,
I don't think Pig makes it either. Nobody makes it out.
this is a
Yeah,
memorable movie. You watch this once and you will remember it for the rest of your life.
and it's so yes, I'm gonna say, Shawn, it's 99 minutes long. It doesn't even feel like 99 minutes. I would say the only scene that starts to drag in the beginning, if you've seen the movie like a lot of times, is when he oranges with his buddy, presumably another cop, and they're kind of going over what to say and the beginning parts of the commode story until that really kicks in. I would say if you had to pick one spot that felt a teeny bit slow after watching it like a dozen or more times, is that. But even that is not even that long of a scene. It just, this thing, and then all of a sudden it's just boom, the end of the movie. And you're like, what just hit me? Like, what was this? And then you want to watch it again as soon as it's over.
I love that Tarantino video that I sent you that I had no idea about, where
Me neither.
he's like, Reservoir Dogs is essentially the thing. You got a bunch of dudes in a closed area and none of them trust each other and they're all trying to find out who the thing is. And I was like,
Yeah.
whoa, cool.
Yeah. I never saw that either. And certainly, like, if anyone has any Tarantino facts or any connectiveness to other movies, love to hear about it. We could have we could sit for hours and just talk about them making this movie and all the things that went on. And there's plenty of kind of documentary footage and other things, but I love just kind of ripping through this movie with you. I loved watching it again. I'm excited to get back into other parts of the Tarantino universe, Shawn.
I did meet Tarantino once.
Did you really?
I will tell that story on our Pulp Fiction episode.
Okay. Oh, wow. Something to look forward to. Well, you trying to change my pick for the next movie?
So, no, I'm not getting into any of that. I want to know exactly what you thought about this movie on the socials at InMadnessPod, InMadnessPod@gmail.com. We do these movies to discuss amongst ourselves, but to mainly discuss with you as well. So let us know, was this your first time seeing this movie because of this podcast? Did you love this movie? Did you hate this movie? Do you have thoughts on this movie? Emails, voice notes, InMadnessPod@gmail.com. I love that we added songs to the In Madness Spotify playlist. Yeah, and this was another quick episode. There's so much dialogue in Tarantino movies. I went over a lot more dialogue in this episode than I did in the last episode, because a lot more of it was like, there was a lot more of a point to it in this episode. So
you know, you were going over the dialogue, Shawn, and so we go full inside baseball on this. You're going over the dialogue, and I'm into one of the scenes, and I pull my computer forward a little bit, knocks my cup of coffee off the coaster, spills the coffee all over my desk, all over the floor,
Oh, great.
all down my leg.
Perfect.
And I'm like, I don't want to stop him. He's on a roll. Let's keep this
Oh,
scene going.
wow. So now
I
you're
still got a
sitting in your
little
own
bit of
coffee
coffee left.
juices? Oh,
Well, my
man.
leg is sticky and the floor will be cleaned up when we're done.
So that'll be your
who
out.
cares?
With this, we'll go let you clean up.
Mm-mm.
I don't know. But is there anything else you want to say about Reservoir Dogs really quick?
I just wanted to say, I wanted to add in one more thing. So
Yeah.
there's a spot where Mr. White is whispering to Mr. Orange, and nobody knows what he says. Remember, he's like combing his hair and stuff. He kind of leans in. So on the French release, it says, "You don't want a blowjob, by the way."
What?
And then on the Italian dub version, it says, "Do you want me to give a hand job too?" And on the Spanish dub version, he says, "I'll comb your hair so you look handsome."
Okay.
He's just joking with them, but I love that they just made up words for that, because we don't even hear like a whisper. We think he's saying something to him, but we don't even hear. When I was going through facts on this movie, I was like, that is so absurd. Now, Shawn.
Okay. I don't know
To
what
my
our
pick.
next movie is.
You don't know what our next movie is, but I have to tell you something.
So I told them not to tell me flat out.
Okay. I'm not going to tell
give
you
me
flat
hints,
out.
so play
but
with me for a little bit.
I didn't want to make you mad.
Oh,
but I'm
so
decided.
you said you have a thing that's going to make me
I've
angry. All right, let me hear.
decided to do something different for this film.
Oh no.
All right.
Oh no.
I am not going to watch this movie.
Okay.
Because I have seen this movie
Okay.
a million
Okay.
times.
Okay.
I am not going to take notes
Okay.
for this movie.
Okay.
I am going to recite all the gnarly bits directly from my
From your
brain
brain.
full of
Okay.
useless knowledge
Okay.
as you ride us through this
Okay.
film.
Okay.
I literally will show people. I'll open a Word document that will be empty and just say the title of the episode.
Okay. So give
Okay?
me some hints because it's going to be some movie you love that like I haven't seen, that I've probably seen twice, that you've seen a million times. Give me some hints. Let's play.
Okay.
Don't make them obvious even. Don't do the obvious stupid Shawn hints. Do like a good hint.
It's an older film
Yeah.
that I talk about a lot.
I mean, that it's not Star Wars. Is it not Star Wars? Is it Star Wars? Is it Star Wars? Is Star Wars going to be the very first one? Wait, the regular Star Wars, not the
original Star Wars, 1977.
Get the fuck
Star
out of
Wars.
here!
So,
Really?
Shawn, yes.
Oh, how long is that movie? Oh man, it is Star Wars. Yeah, I mean, damn, are you ready? You're not ready for The Thing, but you're ready for Star Wars.
Well, I was only ready when I decided that there's no reason for me to be the one-stop shop for people's knowledge about that movie, and instead take the ride with Shawn because he hasn't seen this film that much. How long is it, Shawn?
Exactly 2 hours. You got
2 hours. 2 hours exactly.
Down the middle. We'll break it right down the fucking
2 hours exactly.
Damn.
And I said, I am not. And then when we're done this film, we're going to go heavy into Halloween and heavy into horror and heavy into Comic-Con season. And I was like, how can we provide something different to this audience that's been listening to us for 124 episodes? So we are going to do Star Wars. I am not going to do any research
That's so
for
funny.
it.
I'm sure you know every.
But I have done research my entire life for it, and I don't think it's our job to provide just stacks and stacks of info in a movie that's been looked at. You want deep dive on these films with every fact in the world? Go listen to Blast Points. Blast Points will give it to you all.
Wow. Is this on a streaming service? Am I gonna have to buy this mother effer?
It's on Disney.
Do you have a? Oh, okay. I have Disney. I was gonna say, do you have I'm sure you have a second DVD I could borrow if needed.
I mean, I have it on DVD. I have it on Blu-ray. I have it in VHS.
I have seen Star Wars before. This won't be my first time seeing it. I've seen it I've watched Star Wars many times just because I understand the appreciation. I was like, I have to watch. I would watch the original 3, and then I saw the episode like 1, 2, and 3 in actual theaters when that was the biggest shit on earth. I've seen some of the new ones. I've seen them all. They haven't absorbed with me like they do the mass of the Star Wars.
That's why I want to do this with you. Yeah. That is the key part of this. Okay. Yeah. The key part of these 2 episodes are going to be somebody who has seen it a gazillion times and is just naturally going to talk about what he's seeing on screen.
Your Ninja Turtles. That's what this is.
This is what this is. And somebody else who's going to take us through it, and I'm going to explain things to them. And I was going back and forth between a couple movies, and I was like, you know what? This would be a lot of fun. Yeah. I never wanted to do it because I felt like I wouldn't do it justice with research. Yeah. But then when I thought about it, I was like, why do I need? There are a gazillion Star Wars podcasts. We are not one of them. Yeah. We are 2 idiots that like to talk about movies together. So why can't we do it with this? I don't have to have all the facts. I will tell you, Shawn, that you're always like, hey, can you send me a picture of like your mug for this or whatever? I have no idea what's going to happen because I have 1,000 books in this office.
Wow.
And 1,000 mugs.
Hitting Star Wars.
I figured it's a nice way for us to segue from Reservoir Dogs to Star Wars to something horror, and then I think we'll ride out horror probably for a good part of the rest of the year. Probably. Amazing. So I figured. There it is. This is. Shawn had no idea. Did you think it was something else?
I would have never imagined you going here. Not yet.
Yeah.
Not yet.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
I would only do it if it was in a different way. And I think
Let's do it.
Let's
do it. I feel like the In Madness family is freaking out because I'm sure there's a large chunk that are ready for this one, and I'm sure you are.
We have been building to it. I've made a Star Wars reference on
every episode,
every single episode.
Wow, you finally.
All
right, cool. Let's do it.
Let's go there. So this is the first time we fully revealed. So if you have not seen,
I did guess
Star
it. I can't
Wars,
believe I guessed it. Yeah.
The original or Episode 4, A New Hope, which was redubbed 1977. It comes out May 1977, May 26, 1977. It comes out.
We'll get there in 2 weeks, friends. We have an Inside Madness with a possible guest next week. We will get that figured out. Let us know. Don't forget about Reservoir. I know we're in Star Wars territory now.
No. We're Reservoir Dogs.
Don't forget about Reservoir Dogs. We want to hear your thoughts, your feelings, everything about it. What your funniest parts, the parts that you relate to the most, the conversations, the parts that stick in your head, songs that stick with you. That's the point of this podcast. Absorb these movies, absorb this culture, this art. There's we are jumping all over. What did we do before Reservoir Dogs? We were just jumping all over the place.
We did
Mortal Kombat.
Listen, if we could talk about Mortal Kombat and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles,
and Jaws,
we could do Star Wars.
Oh man, we've just gone over some of the best, and we're just reaching higher and higher and high. I can't even imagine what we're gonna do. Do we do a vote after Star Wars? You think? Right?
No, I have an idea for the next film, but
okay, we'll get there. We got weeks till we get there. Okay, yeah. Oh, we're gonna do like horror stuff. We're building up to the. Oh yeah. All right. Well, yeah.
And also, Shawn, as we start to head in to New York Comic-Con season. We're only in the second week of August, but things are going to start to heat up. We've been talking about some plans we have. Shawn's going to be there at the booth with me. If you follow me on the socials, Vertebrae33, you'll see that I have 2 new co-brands with Terrifier, a hoodie and a long sleeve. Those will also be available at the booth. So you can buy them right now at Hot Topic if you'd like, or you can buy them from me in person at the booth. There'll be an additional co-brand that just got locked down literally today. There'll be some stuff with other booths as well, and possibly a really big surprise. So just stay tuned here. We're going to do probably 1, maybe 2 extra episodes leading the Comic-Con so we can tease some things that are going on. But In Madness will play a big part in this year's Comic-Con as well for me. So,
and with that,
yep.
Again, we will leave you for episode 124. We will see you next week for episode 125. It's not the Star Wars episode yet of In Madness Pod. See you next week.